I really don't have a type. I like the short boys.
Have you ever gone bigger than you?
Yeah, I've topped someone who's like the same height as me before.
Did you guys do a jump ball before you started?
I think it's hot. I think it's very hot when, I know that we have straight people in the room, but you're like, I think it's very hot when it's like a really masculine guy who's like just as hot, and you're like, and then it's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're a little bitch.
Well,
That sounds like Mike Tyson. He literally says he's like, I would take a powerful woman, a CEO of a company, and then I would dominate her.
That's me.
if you're listening to this, you are listening to our main feed. You know, if you guys want to listen to this feed without ads, go to Patreon.
You have to listen to our Patreon. That's where we're talking shit. That's where you're hearing the real sex stories. You're getting our real life. If you want to have fun whatsoever, it's like $5, you stupid pigs. Just fucking sign up for it.
That's so true. And also, thank you for signing up for it, and in a kind way.
Or I don't care about it's kind or not, but if everyone keeps signing, we'll post pictures of our dicks, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe.
I'll give it 8. And if
it's
actually,
not fraud if
we reach 100,000 followers on Patreon, I will show whole.
If we get enough, we don't even have 100,000 people listening to the episode, but if we get there, we'll show whole. We'll show Colton's hole.
Yeah.
And Dylan will take his shirt off.
I will not take my shirt off unless I'm making millions of dollars.
100,000 subscribers is $500,000.
Actually, that is true. If we're making that kind of money, the surgeries are already done. Okay. Please, I need my loose skin surgery. Please sign up for the Patreon. If you guys don't do this, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
That's so true. Sign up for the Patreon. Yeah, we have 2 series on there. It's the Lost
They
Boys.
can find it there.
No, but
the Lost Boys.
We're doing the Lost Boys series. So
if you bomb this, which you did not, you'll be on the main feed. The Lost Boys is everyone who's ever bombed this podcast. We put it up so you can watch them humiliate themselves.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard, dude. That's such cunty gay guy shit to do that.
We're bullies.
Oh man, you guys are such little bullies. I love it.
Okay. Fine, sign up. Thank you.
Oh.
So, this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is
To drag out whores.
No,
God, you want a date with a 22-year-old? God, arrest me.
Masters.
Yeah, his masters.
I think Grindr's gone too far.
Grindr's
they
disgusting.
just asked me to register to vote, and I was like, okay.
That's, wow, vote or die.
Yeah, no.
That's nuts.
But I did try topping last night, and it did not go good.
So Colton's famously a
Are we?
bottom.
I'm curious. I want to. I want to.
We're on.
You want to?
Oh, we're on. Nice. Okay. Good, because I didn't want to miss a recorded version of this.
So I'm like, all right, I've been bottoming for about 7 years now. Maybe I'll be a top. And then I chose a Bronco, you know?
No.
I chose a 6'1" Australian man who kind of looked like a rugby player.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Probably it is awesome.
That's awesome. But as someone who is tall, it's like nobody wants a tall bottom.
No.
Right.
Nobody wants.
Yeah,
I'm 6'5",
you're like
it's
climbing a Pegasus.
No, that's why it's like know your place. Just fuck the short people and be happy.
That's right. I should have chosen like a pony. This man was a Bronco, right? I mean, like just even picking him up was just like, fucking get up. And he was taller than me. He was just, and then I just like couldn't get hard. And he kind of sounded. I was so in my head because he sounded like Pip from Smiling Friends.
What does that sound like?
All right, then. It's all right that you don't have a partner. It's all right. You want to get a beer?
Oh, man. I mean, if that doesn't give you an erection.
But I still felt shame. Like I was like, oh, Dylan was right. I was sitting there going, oh, I'll never be a top.
You're not a top. You're just not. It's
just
okay.
like the performance anxiety of like having sex with women, and they're always like, you can't even make me fucking come. That's what I felt like.
Well, also, I just love how you're like, I like hooked up with this like Australian rugby player. It's like, you mean like your twin?
No, I'm not Australian.
So he looks just like you.
I have a question
similar.
though, just about logistics.
Yeah.
Gay sex logistics. Are you not hard when you're bottoming?
Yeah.
You
No, I
are.
am.
It comes on
Okay.
and off. I feel like with the boys.
For me, I'm always on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, but it's a different level of focus when you're the one doing the.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're doing when I'm bottoming, you're doing all the work.
You know what's crazy?
So I mean,
when you,
Colton, hot guy.
so you got.
fucks. He
I
hot guys, but
gotcha,
he just
yeah.
lays there.
I immediately was like, okay, I know the exact type of chick. Just, yeah,
Starfish.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm too hot to move.
Not me.
Yeah.
You would think I'm a sex slave the way I suck dick. I'm like, he's got to stay.
I mean, I've known my wife for as long as I've known her, and I still go down on her like I'm trying to pay rent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fully,
yeah.
I'm I'm earning it every bit
Yeah,
because I
low
know what this
self-esteem.
offers and
Yeah.
its limitations.
It's limitations. Will you do the Irish curse?
No, it's fine in
Okay.
terms of that. I'm more hang time, like just in terms of pure endurance. If we got to go in for a couple days in a row or whatever, no problem. But if it's been a week or two since we've had sex, I'll go down on her for a solid half hour before we have sex because then it's just a freebie.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I don't have to even feel anything. I'll just put it in, come, and be like, and that was fun for both of us.
And it is.
Yeah.
It does feel like a scale for straight people.
Well, you know what? I hear straight men talk about this all the time. They're like, I put it in and I immediately nut. And it's like, as someone who's just never had sex with a vagina, I'm like, is it that good? It's like, I've never put it in an ass and been like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's like, you really got the ass makes you work for it.
Yeah. I do pedestal pussy in that way.
Do you think that if you had like,
Because you guys talk about it like it's like you'll ruin your life for it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. I mean, that's the thing. If they did find a way to kind of implant the vaginal walls inside of an asshole, like it'd be game over for gay dudes. It would be like you would finally see our plight.
You know, maybe there could be like a toy that's like an insert, and it's just like it is reusable.
A
So it's
turducken
one
pocket
use,
pussy.
Yeah, it's a one
Yeah.
use thing, and you put it in, and it feels like a pussy.
I also am like-
it's probably turkey. What does it feel like?
Wet turkey.
Wet turkey. Yes, but microwaved.
Wait, I always assumed with women the reason that guys come so fast is because it's not even necessarily that it's that much better. It's that you guys have a supply chain issue that like
That's part of
you
it.
can't get it as much. Where it's like dick is like I could find someone to come in here and like jerk them off while we're doing the podcast. Like it's not hard. You know what I mean?
I mean, can I set you off on a task?
Actually, that sounds kind of funny.
That's so
I would
funny.
legitimately just be like, wow, you really pulled that off. You
I
said
was
it
saying,
and then
Colton
did it.
does it. He'll be here in 5. I need a little convincing.
That's so funny. Want to come jerk off on my podcast?
That's so funny.
As long as they're out of frame, I bet they'd probably say yeah.
I think they'd have to do it right here.
Yeah, we'd be like, we'll blur you out. This is Mike. He's a
Go full
really
FBI
respected
informant.
comedian.
Just, oh man, that's so good.
That'll get people talking about the podcast. Come on, random strangers jerking off on it.
Not bad.
That's not bad. Who else is doing that?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I think for
Not
good
the,
reason.
Not the Joe Rogan experience. That's for sure.
Hear that, Joe?
Yeah, they're funny, and I get to see a random stranger jerking off. It's best of both worlds.
Yeah, they do love. They would love that.
I don't like laughing while I'm having sex. It
No.
feels embarrassing.
Yeah, you shouldn't be laughing while you're having sex.
Well, this guy kept on laughing last night.
Do you know that women really can't laugh during sex because that's when men kill them?
Yo, what's with you and murdering women? That's the second time he's brought up murdering women today.
You know what it is?
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Sorry, I was backed up on my Guys We Fucked episodes, and I just listened to all of them back to back, and I was like, fucking men.
They're all killing us. I will say I've made my wife laugh once or twice while we've been having sex, and the grip gets better.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
pretty cool. It's like an internal convulsion.
Wow.
Yeah.
My dad used to make that joke of like, I like girls that smoke, and then he would go, and he would squeeze my finger. And I was 8.
My dad smoked a cigar with me on the golf course once when I was like 12 or 13, and he turned to me at one point and goes, "Tastes so good, it's like pussy." So I relate. I relate.
Oh my god, that's
Like, oh,
sick.
that's an interesting insight into mom's vagina.
It's
good.
interesting
Full bourbon
that you
twat.
brought it into your mom. I would have just been like, God.
That's who I assumed he was
Well,
tasting
yeah,
at the
most
time.
people do.
No, not me.
Well,
But
no,
your dad cheated
not
on your
you.
mom, so you need a lot of
No, he
options.
says
I
he
wish
never
I
did.
had that
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then. I wish I knew.
He said he never cheated. So like, we no one knows.
The first time.
Who? Like, you guys have got it's all complicated. When I hear my dad say that to me, I go like, does he think I've already tasted pussy? Like at 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And then I'm going like, am I a fucking loser? Because I've only put my fingers in it? I had put my fingers in it by 12. That's pretty cool.
It's like now being older and realizing that 13-year-olds have had their fingers in pussies. It's like that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's sick.
I was one of those kids
being like, I gotta get some pussy. It's like, no, you have to get to social studies.
Dude, I was in like the stairwell of my middle school near the art room getting hand jobs and
Cool guy.
If it, not even cool, it was just deviant. Like that's
Yeah.
I used to brag about it and think it was like kind of a cool thing to my buddies, and then now zoomed out, I have kids. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck happened to me where I was chasing it that hard in 7th grade?
I mean, no wonder you're
7th
coming
grade
quick.
is-
If you're doing it in the hallways, you got to bust one
That's
off
right.
quick, right?
Yeah, I gotta focus.
You were coming in hallways?
No, I wasn't even. I wasn't coming. But I do remember feeling like I knew so little. Like I was just into it, but I didn't know anything about it. And I remember fingering this girl, not a woman, girl. And I reached in and I was like taken aback by
What was in there?
her vagina. But I didn't know. I was like, yo. I was like, it's ribbed. Like it was. I didn't know what the fuck I was even feeling.
ribbed?
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on.
Do you know what's
Some of them
surprising is
feel
you
like-
go up. I didn't know that the first time.
I know.
You think you go in. No, you go up.
Dude, I thought it was just a tent and
Yeah,
then
no,
her
it is
stomach.
true.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? I
The
hate
first
to be
time-
I hate to be like this because sometimes I watch straight porn, but sometimes it's so close to the asshole. You're like, whoa. You girls, you gotta change that.
Yeah. The first time I was in, I think 6th grade, and this girl was in the I guess like fucking closet, the cupboard, the janitor's closet.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Have you ever fingered anyone before?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "All right, then finger me." And I was like, "No," because I'd never done
Hell
it.
yeah.
And I didn't really know how it worked, and I was like, "I'm not gonna fucking finger her."
Wait, what do you mean you go up?
You go up. Like a fish
Yeah.
hook, like up.
Yeah.
It goes up?
Up.
Yeah, it goes up.
I don't think that's right.
In fact, what was crazy to me is that you see it, but it's further. It's like, keep on going. You're gonna see the first
Yeah.
curve.
Because the slit
keep
is longer
going
than
back.
the hole,
Make a left
right?
at the end of the street.
Yeah, you're gonna think that's the house. It's not the
Yeah.
house. Keep on driving around back.
Did you guys all tell each other this when you were younger? Like, this is how you do it, or you just figure it out?
I mean, now everybody has access to information,
Yeah.
whereas when
Yeah.
I grew up, it
How old
was
are you?
I'm 39, so it
Amazing.
was just like purely, hey man, not only are your parents not going to tell you anything, your teachers are going to make it really uncomfortable in school and also yell at you anytime you have a question, and so you're basically out there with a hatchet trying to make it work yourself.
Yeah, I remember Derek. He was doing it, and we're like, Derek, please tell us how it works. He goes, "I love her. I don't kiss and tell." I'm like, "Fuck you,
Derek's
Derek."
the fucking man. Derek's the fucking man. That's not a good guy alert, Derek.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I will say though, the name Derek might be the most satisfying to say "fuck you" to. Just fuck you, Derek. That's so
I
good.
remember being so fucking. Oh, I also had like a popped Abercrombie shirt at the time. I was like, he's such a fucking dick.
Did you have anyone that would like? There was a kid named Ryan that used to use sandwich bags for condoms. Or that's what he told everyone. Oh. Because he couldn't buy condoms. We were too young to buy condoms.
I don't think
we used
there's
to
an
buy
age.
condoms. Yeah, when in 7th grade, my buddy Rob and I used to dare each other, like play dare and go
And the
and
dare
buy.
was
The dare was
always-
just buy condoms.
I'm sure.
Truth or go buy condoms.
Dude, we were like 10 and at the Quick and Quality, and some guy would be like, "What?" And I was like, "Do you want me to get somebody pregnant?" Like, come on,
would say
yeah,
that?
of course, because I'm just an asshole. And he's like, "Whatever, man." He'd just sell it to us for $3.
I bought my brother's first condoms when he had to go have sex with a woman because he was scared.
When he had to go have sex
Well,
with
when he
them.
wanted to. But he was like, "Will you buy condoms for me?" He's older than me. He probably hates that I'm saying this on the podcast. But I was like, "Which ones do you want?" He was like, "Get the fire and ice ones." I go, absolutely. Because I was just like his gay brother. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I think I look cool buying them.
Damn right. Yeah. Damn right. I used to jerk off into the condoms because I had no other use for them.
I hate that
And
though.
But yeah, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't love it, but it provided zero cleanup.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah,
easy.
I
My
was-
mom definitely happened upon a few just loaded up
Yeah.
condoms when I was 12 and probably just thought I was.
It is
Do you
nice.
think she knew that you were beating off into them, or did you
Yeah, I think so. I mean, every article of clothing in my room was just hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, she.
Where
she
do you
had
come
the
now?
idea. Where do I come now? Into the tissue, actually. Typically, I know.
Tissue?
Yeah,
Tissue.
like just pop it on top.
Are you like a hygiene person?
No, not at all. I may have 2 kids. I got to get the cleanup
Yeah.
out of the way as fast as
I
possible.
don't like that you keep on calling it cleanup.
I mean, it's all belly gloss, you know.
Also, I mean, am I wrong? But I feel like the tissue does make it better too. Like when you're
It
holding
kind
the
of feels
top,
like you're coming inside of somebody.
Yeah.
like a paper somebody,
Yeah.
but you're still like
paper
you're
somebody.
blowing
A little
them
paper
out.
Flat
girl.
Stanley for sure. I'm coming in flat Stanley.
I mean, it's better than like squeegeeing your own stomach at 39 years old and being like, I've developed zero since 12. Like I've really just the same technique.
Yeah.
And then my happy trail is just crystallized by 4 p.m. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
Well, you know, I
Hey,
really
you make a pretty good tissue point.
I respect that more than the guys who jerk off into the toilet.
I've tried that. It's nuts,
I think it's
dude.
sick.
Aiming? I don't want to aim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no way to.
Yeah.
It still flops all over the place.
Yeah, I was just with a girl. She goes, I think men should be able to direct when they come, or like direct their cum. I go, that's crazy.
Well, I think it really depends on how much you come and how far it shoots.
Yeah, well, you know you. Well, we know apparently you. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, what are we, Greg Maddox? You want us to paint the outside corner? Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
What is that?
He's
Who is
a
that?
pitcher in baseball.
Hey,
I wait, my guess.
Somebody out there may have liked it.
My guess was basketball, but I was like, I don't know what paint the outside corner means in basketball.
Yeah, it's a really good reference if literally anybody
Yeah.
knows the
Yeah.
sport.
It's women and gay guys.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything gay?
Wait, yeah,
No,
Nothing?
nothing gay. There was
And please don't tell us your child-on-child sexual abuse.
no child on child.
Straight guys will be like, have you ever done anything gay? And they start to be like, well, when I was 7. You're like, whoa, 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 that's a crime. You go, no. I was talking about high school and up.
No, I think the gayest. I mean, this might be gay. I don't know, but the gayest is like jerking off in the same room as your buddies when like
Yeah.
we're 12.
Yeah.
But nobody gave anybody else a hand. It was also everybody was kind of
In the
quarantined to
corner.
their own.
Corner
It's the
straight. We've learned that on
corners.
the podcast. Straight guys love to jerk off in
Yeah.
a corner of a single.
I don't know if we loved it or if that's just what we had access to.
Why were you always doing it?
Straight guys love corners.
They do.
Yeah. I also am like, I always hear this, but I'm always like, I was not invited to those parties, and I hung
Obviously.
out with straight guys.
Because they knew they can smell it.
They
on
could,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
Blood in the water. They're like, Colton can't come tonight.
We're gonna watch porn, and he's
Like,
like,
I know that when I'm at my weakest, I might ask him to blow me.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
like,
know.
he's
Who
always
knows?
looking. He's always looking.
I feel like it was always a choice, though. It was like, oh, we're on a field trip and everybody had to. It wasn't like, oh, we're just, why not? We have nothing else to do. You know, am I wrong?
I mean, I remember, I think
Like going to DC.
the
Everyone's in
DC,
the whole-
that was actually the exact trip I was
Called
thinking
it.
of.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure we did a version of that, but it was usually like we'd play Dreamcast back at this time. It was NBA on NBC. It's an old gaming system.
like N64, but older.
It's newer, but it's not much. And we would like get done playing 2-on-2 NBA on NBC, and then be like, "Who has that blank tape?" And then we put it in, try to beat our moms coming home from the supermarket, and that was that.
Oh, sorry, I got confused halfway through. I thought it was one of your moms on the tape.
No,
Yeah, that's so funny. It's like, hey, you have to bring. We all watched My Mom last week. It's your mom's turn.
trooper, that friend with me. He's like, fine.
I don't know.
don't like
This is
it.
what you get, Derek, for not telling us about Amanda.
No, although I did find like a plug-in dildo in my dad's drawer once when I
Your
was a
dad's?
kid. Yeah, a
plug-in.
which I found to be like, that's when I was like, there's no way anybody's ever used this. Like, it just doesn't even have.
Jack Connie
think-
plugs it in.
It gets wet and it kills
lay
her.
back. Like when you throw a toaster into the bath, just like electric shock.
I feel like I found one. My dad was like, "No, that's a back massager," and I remember like, "Well," and then I remember being like, "That feels like a lie because it's like straight up a tube type thing."
Yeah, this back
But then
massager
I
has
was
a ton of
like,
pubes on it.
I was like, "This is pretty fucking. If this is a pussy thing, my mom was getting fucking hammered, and I don't think she was. So I never knew what that was for. Maybe
Yeah.
it was for my dad.
But your dad's back is loose.
Me and my brother found my
Feels
dad's
good.
Viagra, and we both started crying.
Sorry,
Start
say that
crying?
again?
Yeah.
You and your
It's fucking Courtney, our stepmom.
See, now with the Viagra, that brings me to another point. Colton, do you think that if you had something like Viagra and it took a little of the pressure off of you, you would be able to top?
Well, no, I'm just gonna choose the pony version next time.
Okay, smaller.
So I got
Like
the
Cam
reason
the
I
Cowboy?
chose him is
Was he
because
hot?
he shamed me for choosing femboys for fucking femboys.
No, I
yeah.
just,
What you
Colton,
said
every time he
was
shows me a picture, he's like, I'm gonna go top this guy. It's just a guy who's like. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I
Sure.
was just like, it's a pattern.
Yeah, it's a,
I just feel like a 5'7" like boy was gonna be easier for me to just like get I guess just get my feet wet.
I feel like that makes sense as an outsider. That just
Yeah.
would make sense to have tastes for each different thing too, because like everything in terms of heterosexual sex is pretty like you gotta have the whole thing. Like everything comes with blowjob, sex. It all is one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like you got
You buy
topping and
full of-
bottoming.
Yeah.
Cruise packages.
It's a Groupon.
I paid for the blowjob. What are you talking about? What do you mean it's not included? It's always included. When did you stop including it?
That's exactly right. But I feel like if I had like a separate, like if I had a vaginal one and an anal person, I would probably want them to look a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I like large men fighting me down and winning. And I I like smaller men that I fight and I sometimes can win too.
Yeah, there is I really don't have a type. I like the short boys.
Have you ever gone bigger than you?
Yeah, I've topped someone who's like the same height as me before. But
That's like,
Dude,
did you
that-
guys do a jump ball before you started?
I think it's hot. I think it's very hot when I know that we have straight people in the room. So, but you're like, I think it's very hot when it's like a really masculine guy who's like just as hot, and you're like, and then it's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're a little bitch.
Well,
That sounds like Mike Tyson. He literally says he's like, I would take a powerful woman, a CEO of a company, and then I would dominate her.
That's me. That's me.
I feel like that's how Chip feels, but I mean, two large men on your twin
It's a
bed.
lot.
I'm going like,
Well, I'm not. Yeah.
you have a twin bed,
I
right?
don't have a twin bed. What the shit is wrong with you?
crazy.
That'd be
I
wild
love-
for just you.
By the way, I love how you're like, Colton thinks I'm like so poor that I have like a twin bed. He's like, well, you sleep on the ground, right? It's like, no, I have a queen size bed.
Well, you won't share your location, so I couldn't possibly know that.
I think it's crazy to share your location with your friends. It's my life is my own business.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't like it. Are you
No
sharing your
way.
location
No,
with your
it's
people?
okay.
Not with buddies, no.
You can share your location with a friend if they don't want it. Colton really wants it, and that's the issue.
Exactly.
If you shared your location with me, I would never fucking look at it.
Exactly. When people send their location, my sister sent me her location one time, and I go like, "Hey, take care of yourself."
We're in different
Well,
cities.
she's in New York City. I go, "What do you want me to do? I don't know what the fucking train system. Send it to your roommate."
No, it was really helpful. One time, I left my phone in the Uber, but I couldn't find it on my person. So I like got on my laptop and I hit my sister. I go, "Where's my phone?" She was like, "Oh, it's like driving down Melrose."
Oh, that's
I'm
not
not.
bad.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be the person that like you have to take responsibility for your own actions. I don't lose my phone on Ubers. Okay, I'm not sharing my location.
Do you take Ubers?
I could. My car's like probably gonna break down soon. I'm sure I will be on Ubers.
All right. I just think like as soon as you're like kind of making more money, you're gonna want me to have your location.
I don't. I actually think once I have more money, you'll
Yo.
completely be cut off from my life.
It would be
You'll be
crazy.
blocked on all platforms. I don't know what you're talking about.
It would be crazy if Dylan is like on a date and Colton just like shows up.
I have a
That-
friend who used to do that to me all the time. He would like find out where I was going out on dates, and I
How
would
would
just be
you
like
find
sitting.
out?
I like he would.
So you want to know?
I would like tell him, or I don't even know how, but like I would be like, oh, we're going to this place, and then halfway through the day, I'd like look over, and he would be like standing in the thing. I'd be like, this is insane.
wild.
Yeah, he used to like follow me to my ex-boyfriend's house to prove that I wasn't going there. It was crazy.
Okay.
To prove that you weren't going there.
'Cause
It
I
was
was like-
crazy
I was
because
like-
I was going.
I was there.
Yeah, he's
I
lying.
gave him
I was lying. I remember I was like,
suspicious.
I was like walking back to my. I was like, I'm gonna go home, and he's like, okay. And then I started walking to my ex's house, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to his house, and all of a sudden I felt like I was being like watched, and so then I kept like looking around, and then I like ran into him at the corner, and he was like, I fucking knew you were going there. I was like, oh, I hate
my
this.
God, dude. That would terrify me.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he was just like calling you on your bullshit rather than like being really creepy.
Yeah, he wasn't being creepy. He was
Yeah.
just trying to prove that I was lying.
And I think that that's
And he was right.
Yeah, and he was right. And he was right. I'll give him that.
Creep me the hell
yeah, it's
out.
still definitely
Yeah.
creepy because if he was wrong, he still followed you for 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure, or longer.
That's right.
Longer and kept out of
Listen,
sight.
I've been in some codependent friendships. Where you're like promising not to do things, and you're like, oh, no, I'm not gonna drink or whatever. I'm not gonna suck that guy's dick.
Are you,
Anyways.
you guys are from here though?
No, I'm from Massachusetts.
So I feel so sharing location, especially if you're going on dates with strangers, that might not be a bad idea then.
I'm a man. I'm 6'5". I wish they would try to
Fair
kill
point.
me.
I wish they would try to.
I would.
wish a motherfucker would.
Yeah, I'm still a man. I can fight. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Test my honor
Have you ever gotten in a fight?
with my brother.
Yes. Huh. I would be so worried about
Really,
you.
growing up gay in Massachusetts, you didn't throw down?
No, you know, my dad pulled my brother aside a lot when we were growing up and was like, your brother's fucking gay. You're going to have to take care of a lot of this. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
Unbeknownst to me. So I was
Yeah.
just, so that he was like, Dylan's,
That's pretty great, actually.
yeah. He's like,
Am I looking at it wrong?
Except what's funny, Dylan always said that he wouldn't make it easy.
Well, I didn't know my brother was having these side convos with my dad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I thought I was like really hiding it. And so then my brother and I just grew up with like he had so much resentment towards me. Like he just like fucking hated me, and I never understood why. And it's like I don't know, because dad was like, you need to protect Dylan. And then I was like walking down the hallway with like 12 girls calling other girls fat. It's like not making it like not making it easy for him at all. Like everybody's like, your brother's gay, and now he's like, great, I don't have to fight these kids because that's what my dad told me I have to do. And I had no idea. You know what I mean? If they were like, hey,
Yeah.
cool it a little bit with the girls.
Sure,
You know, maybe
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
been able to like hide it.
That's so funny.
I remember in 8th grade, some girl told my friend that her mom thought I was going to grow up to be gay. And I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know her mom like that. And he goes, don't worry. I told her how much fucking pussy you get. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for telling her. That's so true, too.
Adults can see. I mean, I literally, when I was growing up, all the girls would be like begging their parents, like, can Dylan sleep over tonight? Like, we promise he'll sleep on the couch. And his parents would be like, Dylan can sleep in your bed. Like the dads were like, Dylan, you can go ahead and sleep in the bed, Dylan. There's
That's
no
so good.
problem here. I was like, thanks, mister. Yeah.
I didn't know. My parents actually, my little sister recently was like, oh yeah, around the time where mom and dad thought you were gay, it like started a story that way. And I was like, what was that? Like, you're 5 years younger. When did they confide in you? I was like, I had to be in my teens then. She was like, you were well into high school. And I was like, I had girlfriends all the time. And they're like,
So
they
funny.
did not buy it.
Oh my
His
God.
mom, he's married. She still doesn't buy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
yeah.
still thinks I'm gay for sure.
I mean, every YouTube comment is about how I'm gay. So yeah, that's more or less. I articulate words.
It's my
so.
dad.
And you're not like absolutely cruel. So
Yeah.
people are like, oh wow, he must be gay. He's not like raping women online.
Yeah.
That's great.
Online.
Online.
Is there a Twitch stream for that?
Yeah. Probably. Oh God. Wait, do you get a lot of gay fans?
A fair amount, I guess. Like, I just get like, I get fans from whatever. I mean, I talk about my family life, so I guess that gravitates people, and I talk about like mushrooms and psychedelics and self-hatred and mental illness. So it's like
classics.
all of those things. Whoever's into those tends
Yeah,
to
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
come on over.
Have you done a lot of psychedelics? Mm-hmm. The best.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't drink anymore, so I do like maybe once every 6 months to a year do a full trip, kind of on mushrooms usually. But at Skankfest, I do acid at
I want
Skankfest
to do
once a
acid
year.
at Skankfest.
It's pretty fun. I
Yeah.
will say though, it does make me feel terrible to like talk to notoriously sober comedians while I'm just literally like fireworks around their heads, but
Yeah.
they have no idea. I was talking to Rich Voss for like 35 minutes while I was fully hallucinating on acid.
There's no way I wouldn't be like the legend.
Oh, I did. We were busting each other's balls. I like tried to mop the sweat out of his mouth. Out of his mouth. He's like, "Get out of here."
Okay, I've just started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I remembered that Vikings used to have this like journey walk where they'd get fucked up on some drink. Do you know what it was?
No, I don't. That's cool
didn't
though.
say.
It's like it's a hallucinogenic.
It looks like
potion.
ayahuasca, and they would talk
Is
to
it
Thor. And shit.
ibogaine or something like that? Or
I don't know.
I only know like so I've smoked DMT before, but I've
Right.
never done ayahuasca.
Okay.
Which is like the ceremony, and you
I
have
did the
to-
ayahuasca.
You did it.
Yeah.
Did you shit or throw
No,
up?
I didn't because my witch told me like I had on like a fasting program.
my personal.
It was like a
witch.
3-month diet, and then
Oh,
the
cool.
4 days before I fasted.
Nice.
So I didn't have any of the outs.
So you went in full discovery mode.
Yeah.
Because there's like now, which is, it's bumming me out a little bit, but mushrooms and psychedelics are becoming like a social drug. And the idea of like learning from it is now kind of just more, oh, I don't want to drink, so I'm just going to trip balls at this
yeah.
party. It's like, sure. And I don't know, I'm sounding queefy, but I always like, I like mushrooms for the discovery of it, or
Yeah.
like that big kind of impactful trip where you're just tearing apart any of your.
Also, I've
It's
never
really-
been funnier than when I'm on acid. I mean, honest to God, I'm like the greatest comedian to ever live. When
It
I'm
should,
on acid.
that's
I'm
what
like,
that's what ecstasy I think should feel like.
Yeah.
Is acid. Every time I've been on ecstasy or Molly, I get that like roll, and it's almost like dizzying, and it feels like you're being like,
You're, like, telling
blown
people
on a
you love
boat.
them. Yeah,
Or
you're
it's like it's weird. It's like nauseous, but also good.
It's earnest in a way that I don't like. Where you're like looking at people and be like, "You mean so much to me,"
Yeah.
and it's like too much, Dylan. You're like he's a stranger.
It only connects to others who
Yeah.
are on the drug.
Oh, it's awful.
People
Acid,
not
I'm
are
like,
like,
it's like I'm like ripping people apart, having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should be fucking.
I could
famous.
sell cars on acid.
Yeah.
If you put me in like a used BMW lot, I'd come out there with like 80K in commish.
Wait, let me ask you this though.
Calling it commission.
Making that money. Because I don't drink either, and I haven't taken acid. I was still drinking at the time, and I really want to do it again, but I'm nervous that like sober Dylan is not going to drink, but I'm afraid that acid Dylan's going to be like, well, you're already on acid.
Right. I mean, it depends on what your relationship was with alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm an all or nothing dude, so there's
Yeah.
no chance of me drinking unless I like am gonna die. Like
Yeah.
unless I decide like this is it, I'm having 48 drinks tonight, and this is how I relapse. There's no like, well, I can handle this.
Exactly.
I don't do that with
Yeah,
anything.
same.
So
Okay.
with acid, with hallucinogens in general, also before I stopped drinking, the medicine of hallucinogens was the one that told me to stop.
Yeah.
They're like, you gotta stop doing this. You're hurting yourself. You're killing yourself. I actually like almost could visually see the poison sludging through my body and creating problems.
Yeah. My ayahuasca trip, I was like, you never got hugged as a kid. And I was like, that's so fucking true. I actually caught it because I was doing this, and I was kind of like, and I was like, oh my God, you're hugging yourself because no one else will.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Yeah.
But then,
No,
I,
it's
then I
great.
got sober for 2 months after that, but then I got locked in a hotel for 2 weeks in Mexico. I kind of lost my brain. Then I went to rehab 2 months after that.
Yeah. Locked in a hotel, like somebody locked you in there.
That's a
how pretty
good
it is.
question.
This is the kind of hot that people locked
Yeah,
up and
they-
kind of sent overseas.
They were gonna steal my kid. They were gonna sing some of my kidneys.
Gray
but they were
area
like-
kidnapping. Nice.
Oh, Golden, they don't want your kidneys, okay? I'm saying that right
No,
now.
they thought they wanted my kidneys, but then they were like, actually, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
No, I had COVID and I tested positive, and my husband tested negative, so he left, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. It
Damn.
was pretty cool.
That actually does sound nice. I'd love to be stuck in a hotel.
yeah,
No.
kinda not
It
bad.
was awesome for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I have a whole Instagram story on it, and it's just like you could just see me fucking losing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
People that I had never talked to before were like, "Are you okay, Colton?" Like Brian Redband, I think that was the first time I ever talked to him. He DM'd me, was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, buddy, no."
I mean, that's 2 weeks in the hole, basically. Like
Yeah.
you are being fed and all that, and you're in Mexico. But were you allowed outside?
No. And
Oh.
my balcony overlooked the ocean. And it overlooked this like wedding ceremony thing. So I saw 8 weddings while I was there. But I would just look at the ocean and just be like, I fucking wanna go
Families
out there.
coming together on the grass below you with the beautiful serene ocean.
At one point, I called the front desk. I was like, I can help write their speeches if they want. They're like, no, thank you. I was like, come on, man, I got time.
Oh my God.
Their speeches were so fucking bad.
You heard the speeches too?
Yes.
I mean, I'm imagining like a Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Colton like crying upstairs on the
Playing the
penthouse
piano
floor.
drunk.
It
Oh
was
my God.
really nice.
That was like the first time I saw a dick in a movie, and I was like, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would
but
you,
you had a pretty thick piece. Too.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is great.
would you
Did
top
not-
Jason or Jason?
No, but I would blow
Segel?
him.
You wouldn't top him.
No, but I
No.
blow them.
Most guys I would blow.
I mean, clip that. That's the moment.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like topping so much work. You know what I
No,
mean? Just a yeah.
bottoming so much work. In fact, somebody asked me, I was like, "This is what it takes to bottom." And they go, "What do the tops do?" I go, "Good fucking question. What are they up to all day?"
I mean, nothing
topping
all
is
day,
nowhere.
but once you get there, you got a lot of work to do.
What about a power bottom? Isn't that the one dictating all the exchange?
Yeah, but neither of us are that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a whole other sect.
Yeah.
That's not like some days I'm a power bottom, some days I'm.
I think once you become a power bottom, it's hard to turn into anything else. It's
I
kinda
actually-
like a final stage.
It does feel
final boss.
Yeah, it does. I feel like that's why I do lay there,
Super
because it does
Saiyan?
feel like I'm going to become a different. And if I go to power bottom, that feels like a different stage of my being.
Yeah.
It feels like shark eyes.
That might be what's next.
I hope not. I really hope I get into poetry. That would be much more helpful.
Wait, and so you were saying that you and your wife met in 5th grade?
Yeah, we met when we were 10 years old. We met on the blacktop next to each other on the bus line going home in 5th grade. Yeah, she was wearing a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket pullover.
And were you like, wow, this girl?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. She actually, I don't know what it was about her that caught my attention outside of the jacket and just her. She was hanging out with other girls that I was friendly with, and she just looked pretty. Like I don't, we're 10. I don't even
Yeah.
know what that means at 10. But just like I just remember being like, who the fuck is that? Like I just got to meet her. And we met and we hung out. Like we started hanging out during lunchtime and stuff like that. I'd like do something cool in the basketball court, then like make sure she saw and go back, all that shit. And then I think we hugged in 5th grade and were boyfriend girlfriend for like a month or whatever, and then broke up. And then in middle school we dated pretty consistently, and then would break
She was
up,
the one
date other
jerking you off in
people.
the hallways?
She was not. No, she was prude, I believe was the term we used to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually used to point to real estate signs out on lawns, and it would be like Prudential, and I'd be like, look, it's you. And she didn't care for that joke.
Yeah. Wait, so then in high school, did you guys date?
Yeah. So we dated 9th and 10th grade. 10th grade was probably our longest stretch together, where like consistently, where I think from 9th to 10th we dated for over a year. Then we broke up, went through a small period of time of like just hating each other because it was high school. We had a serious relationship, lost our virginity to each other, and then fuck you. Both dated other people, but were friendly. And then in college, in between breakups that we had, we'd constantly come back and hook up. And then on breaks, we'd come back, hook up. And then we started dating when the Giants beat the Patriots and ruined their perfect season for the Super Bowl.
When was that?
2008.
2008, yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Why do you
crazy.
know that?
It was a big deal.
It was a
It's
huge,
not-
huge
well,
deal.
you don't have to convince me. I'll let you have it.
It was one giant loss. I don't
Damn
know.
right.
And
Yeah.
you've been together ever since?
Yeah, we've been together ever since. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
How
do you
is
like,
having kids in comedy?
It's great. I mean, it gives you something to focus on outside of yourself, which is nice. I mean, I'm a narcissist, and that manifests in the way I like self-loathe. So having a child to love and their optimism and hope is a nice break from self-flagellation.
What do you hate about yourself?
Everything. Like,
Really?
yeah, everything. I mean, just every authentic part of me.
Do you have a list?
Not
I think as soon
necessarily.
as you make a list, then you can actually put it on paper and be like, actually, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think when push comes to shove, it's not really anything in particular. It's just the whole package, and it's probably more in line of how I was spoken to than anything else.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of my work. I really like my comedy. I like the way I treat my family. I'm a really good dad. So like, there are things that I genuinely love about
Yeah.
myself, but in the back of my head, I'm still failing at all those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to think of it as a car I'm driving, and like, no matter what we're talking about, I'm gonna be pretty mean to myself.
Yeah.
But that's just because that's the way the road goes.
Yeah, I mean that actually, it bums me out the most that I'm living like if you said this to me as a kid, like for sure dream life
If
couldn't
you even
even
said
possibly.
this at like year one of comedy, you'd be like, no fucking way.
Exactly, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine living like this type of life, but I feel like I'm failing at it every single day, and even when I'm not, like even when it's just categorically not true, it's still in the back of my head. I'm like, you're just not doing it good.
But
Wasn't that
don't
what-
you think that pushes you to do
Yeah.
it better? Like, I know it's bad. It
Yeah.
hurts while you're doing it, but can't you like have some gratitude that you're like, actually, you know what?
I do.
I have some like gratitude that I see the room for improvement.
I do. I think the one thing that I would love is like to update my operating system, because I think spite and self-hatred has gotten me to a certain level, and I feel kind of stuck at a level, or at least at, at this place. So if I could maybe twist it and, be a little kinder to myself.
Did you do AA or anything like that?
No.
I think that's the one thing in AA that I like. We didn't.
I mean, I've been to AA since I was 4 years old with my father, so I know AA. I've been in the program for a long time. Huh?
Is your dad hot?
He was, but then he got fat.
Yeah.
He's kind of a Colin Farrell guy, looking dude.
That's cool. Have you ever seen Colin Farrell's sex tape?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
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 He did. He was bald for, I think, Daredevil or something.
Yeah.
He banged Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah. Like
The old woman?
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. I think I would, like, if somebody put Joan Rivers in front of me before she died, I would have absolutely knocked the cobwebs.
Tried.
Yeah, I would have tried. I think I could, though.
Oh, for sure.
I think the story itself could get me hard enough to have sex.
Also, she was the fucking best.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was big rugby player was put in front of me last night. And just didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems intimidating.
Also, I just want to say, like, it's also okay
That what?
that you're not a top and you're not bisexual. And it's
No,
okay
it's
to
such
admit
shit.
that stuff.
You are like, you like to draw a circle around me and be like, oh, I can categorically describe Colton with labels.
I think you need to stop thinking about Dylan when you're having
That
sex.
is what I definitely need to stop
need
doing.
to, like,
I'm never thinking about
remove
Colton.
him from
I'm never
your
thinking about
mind.
Colton.
And when I'm not thinking about you, it's always going great. It's whenever you pop in, I'm like, fucking Dylan was right.
So Mexico husband is not a thing anymore?
There he is.
No, we get to do whatever we want. We're gay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get some insight.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for the rude.
This is okay.
It's okay.
Literally.
But that's cool. You guys have pure freedom.
Yeah, I guess that's what I would call it. I would call it, I encourage him to do whatever he thinks is fun that day.
Nice.
That's how I feel about it. I'm like, oh, dude, he did this thing and he really liked it. Although sometimes when you're fucking strangers, it's bad.
Yeah. Sometimes it can get
It's
really
really
bad.
bad.
Do you guys ever like come together as boys at the end of the night and be like, that was like, I had a bad one. How about
That's
you?
so funny. The boy meets different in my world. I was like, yeah, well, daddy and boy comes together. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of... We definitely do more game tape play. Where it's
Chip
like,
doesn't live here also. That's, I think, part of the
Gotcha.
question that he was asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
I think it's now that we're like doing it with strangers though, bringing the parts of it, the stranger like oh, I found this one new thing. Now I want to bring it to you. So it feels like more exciting when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing to you that was done to me, and I'm gonna love.
Oh, okay. I like that.
It's pretty
Yeah.
exploratory, so it doesn't feel more
Kind of
like
like real life porn.
Yeah. It's funny because I
Yes.
actually, when my wife brings something new to the table sexually, I'm like, who the fuck taught you that? Like, there's no way that I inspired you to learn something new.
Where did you learn this word?
Whose penis brought this out of you?
Oh my gosh.
Now,
I was reading Cosmopolitan.
I got a question. When you were in high school or college, like, and you decided to get back with your wife again, were your friends like, we saw this coming? Or they like, really, Mike, again?
My friend, so it had been such a long time since we officially dated and we were just like hooking up and just friends. We were best friends even throughout the time of not dating each other through college. So my buddies kind of were like, oh shit, okay. Like they just didn't see it coming. They didn't know we were talking or that it was like romantic on that level or we were both looking for something like that. And it honestly, like, it just happened that night at the Giants-Patriots Super Bowl thing. Like, it's the best. It's one of the best nights of my fucking life. It's so awesome. But she literally picked me up at this party that we went to, and she like, and by the end of that party, we both were kind of like, let's fucking date for the rest of our lives.
I love
That was it. Yeah.
Let's date for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Never get married. But
I wasn't gonna marry her. I wasn't. I'm like an anti-marriage guy. I do not. I just based on my parents' marriage and all
Yeah.
the marriages that I saw growing up, didn't seem like an institution I wanted to fucking dive headfirst into.
Right.
So I told her, I was like, I'll date you forever. I'll be with you, whatever, tattoos, whatever you want, anything. So, I was like, I just
Anything
don't
but
want
a
to.
ring,
Yeah, I was
honey.
like, I just don't want to get married. I just think it's gonna fucking sour everything. And, as you go through time with somebody and you realize what's important to them and why it's important to them, it's like the only person I would break that rule for is her. So if this doesn't work out, I'll never get married again, which is great. But, she's the one person that I would break the rule for. And that's like what marriage is anyway.
Yeah.
So you guys are married?
We are, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
8
yeah.
years. Just celebrate 8 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about marriage. But I feel like it's a game to play the government. It's more of a tax game.
Totally, yeah.
So, I mean, we got officially married because of that, but we had that conversation too. It was like, if we can stay together, it's like we just got over that hill.
Yeah.
Like, what other thing could happen? Like, were you going to cheat on me? Okay, cool.
Right.
Like, I can't fathom something that he could do that I would be like, that's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Maybe kill my brother.
There you go.
You specified brother. Brittany's like, what the fuck, Colton?
No, she's been wanting to go for a while. She's pretty sad. I mean, he could convince me that was a mercy killing. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying he could convince me. He's very convincing.
Put it through a positive filter.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you have any other siblings?
I have 2 sisters. So I have an older sister and a younger sister in the middle. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's like how guys become nice.
I think so. I mean, I think I am. I treat women well because I have sisters, and I mean, my mother was my primary abuser, so take that for what you want.
Yeah,
but I have a healthy fear of women. I'm sure that's
Are you
why.
close to your mom now?
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
It's not like she apologized. So when as an adult, she took me aside and was like, very heart to heart apologize for it. My dad has not really, but we've also come to an agreement.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good grandpa. He's like a declawed lame lion. Like he's like literally he's like a lion you would find at Six Flags.
Yeah.
Like just completely slumped over, barely can move, certainly not the king of the jungle anymore.
Yeah.
And that's my dad now, and it's the best version of him that I've ever met because he's not aggressive, he's not domineering, he's still huge and imposing, but he's kind, so he's like almost like a bear.
Yeah.
That's
he's a
how
great
my dad
grandpa.
felt about my grandpa. He's
Yeah.
like, you don't know how. I was like, we love grandpa. He's like, you don't know how mean he was. He
Right,
used to fucking
yeah.
be
Well, they get more
mean.
estrogen as they get older, which I think it makes them a little bit.
Dude, I already
nicer.
feel it myself. Having
Yeah.
kids, it's like I am an open pussy. I've been just crying for weeks since my kid has
really?
been born. Yeah. Every time. My first son, same thing. Second son, it's like, it's unbelievable how much like estrogen just pours through your body by osmosis.
Don't you get so scared?
By
though?
osmosis.
Just my wife is emitting it out of her pregnant body, and I think I mean I
And
don't
it's
know.
just, and you're drinking her juice.
And I'm
I
just,
feel
I'm
like
just,
that's
just taking it
osmosis.
in energetically.
Yeah. Isn't it scary to be a dad?
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I'm always like,
it's
my
scary
God.
with this job too because it's it's very much this is a child's dream. And and it's also inherently irresponsible and inherently navel gazy and not thinking about other people and just fucking Neverland like Peter Pan shit. But when you have kids, it's now a real career that you have to make a certain amount of money for, and you have to go out and do shit that you don't necessarily want to do or do whatever. But there's a gravity to it that was absent.
do you think it pushed you to work harder?
Yeah. I mean, I've come out with 3 specials since my first son was born.
Whoa.
And like 3 written hours that I'm proud of, not just bullshit. And,
Yeah.
It's only because of that. It's like, what the hell else am I going to do? I'm not getting opportunities from other people, so it's like I gotta keep pushing shit out.
Yeah, that feels like the way it is with everybody right now. It's like you literally no one's giving you opportunities. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to ride your own, catch your own wave.
The good thing is we are able to.
Yeah.
If this was the 90s, no one was giving people opportunities, and that's it. You were just fucked.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I do feel like in the 90s I would have been picked.
They
I think if I started in 2006, I wouldn't have to do this. I think
The 90s were the heyday for guys like me. So
just
I might have been all
naturally
right.
gifted. Okay. Yeah. Now
Or
we have to
straight
do
white
the work.
guy.
Yeah. Now we have to do the work.
I would have at least gotten a pilot.
A development deal.
Yeah, 500K at Montreal. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now we're all fucking posting, but
Hey, where are you from?
Yeah. Oh God, it's the worst. Do you do a lot of crowd work?
I mean, it's like a part of my show, and I was posting it for a while in an effort not to burn material.
Yeah.
But it was never something that I like set out to film. Like I don't have an allotted time in my show for crowd work to do.
Yeah.
And honestly,
you're doing now. They have like on a lot of
yeah,
time.
it's not a bad idea. It's
Yeah.
just like I'm trying to get away from it a little bit because I like writing material, and I think that like better represents me out there in the internet. And 2, I think it like training audiences. It's like the least for me, I like people to listen and have a good time and not want to like double dutch to try to be the star of the show with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also find that most crowd work is just like, and then you said what?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the joke is what?
You are a teacher?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man. A large part of the
Cut
populace.
to me, I'm
is-
like on stage looking at a guy being like, "I'll suck your dick right now."
and I'm talking about me. I'm not. I'm certainly not. I'm not better than that. I do
Oh,
the same
for
shit.
sure.
Yeah.
Nobody
sure.
is. I mean, it's how everybody does it.
Well, the
Yeah.
crazy thing
I
about
like-
crowd work is it's now like that's all these college students think stand up is. A lot of
Yeah.
them haven't seen a special or any like actual material. So they're like, oh, you just go up there and you wing it and you call the guy gay in the front row. And
Yeah.
Dylan's like, exactly.
Which is a
Yeah.
full.
Exactly.
It's just a party trick. Like
Yeah.
it more or less is. It's just like. It's basically speed dating interaction with people in the crowd.
That's
It's
how I
not-
feel about it.
Yeah.
It is the worst cocktail conversation you could possibly. So what do you do for work? Like,
Yeah, and intentional misinterpretation of
Yeah.
Yeah.
information.
yeah.
Would you ever be in an open relationship with your wife?
No, I mean maybe when we're older, but like
Oh, yeah, that's the
You
time
guys
to
would be
do
those
it.
crazy
Yeah.
straight swingers.
that's like, but that's the only thing that we've said. Like we've put that on the table in the sense like we've been together forever. Everything is on the table if we want this to work. So it's like if either of us are completely unsatisfied at some point and you want to try this, let's talk about it. It's on the table. But I don't know, man. I can't, like, it would just be so uneven.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be doing great, and I'd be like, well, I'll definitely get pussy after shows. And then just cut to me on an edible with pizza on my stomach in my hotel room. just doing nothing while my wife's getting satisfied for the first time in 20 years.
That's about like a 24-year-old jock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
An Australian
God.
rugby player.
It would be just, you could know that they would be like, oh, your husband's so funny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're like, I'm a fan of your husband's work.
So funny.
That would make it worse, wouldn't it? If he was a fan of you, would that be better or worse?
I mean, here's the thing. You could frame it either way, right? So if he's a fan, then in my head, I'll be like, well, then he's my dick proxy. Well, then as my fan, I'm now controlling him. Go fuck my wife. That's how I'll change it up.
It actually is very cult leader-ish, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, that's, hey, you guys gotta fuck her.
Yeah, that's not
I
bad.
think I could be a cult leader. I was just thinking.
You know what happened to the last comic that said that?
Who?
Several documentaries were posted on YouTube about him.
Chris D'Elia?
Oh. Yeah, he always had a creepy face, but
He was sober too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
he's
so.
totally sober. That's what he says. Off everything.
I was.
everything but underage girls.
That's the strongest cocktail of them all.
Oh, and if you'd love to come on the show, we can really
Yeah,
no,
come
I'm
on,
British.
let's
Hey,
do
come
it.
on the show. We'd be like, are you gay? Oh God. All right. Well, we only have 2 segments on this show.
Yeah.
Our first segment is famous.
Okay.
And it's
I was just wanting to apologize for being on my phone earlier. I was checking into my Southwest flight.
That's okay. Yeah, dude, you gotta make sure you have a seat.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm not gonna sit and see. I'm not that person. So
oh God.
I know it's choose your own seat, but I'm better than the C's.
Yeah.
It's our first segment. It's our favorite
I got
segment.
nervous, and then I was like, that's why I never book with Southwest, and now I whatever, I have to book. Now I have one next month. All right, that makes me nervous.
I booked him a flight in Southwest. He goes, oh, I don't think so.
I don't like that. I'm like, I don't want to take Southwest.
Yeah,
But,
it's because he's not prepared. He doesn't even have TSA.
I am
Damn.
so lucky. You have no idea. I'm the luckiest boy at the airport. I swear to God, every time it's never a problem. And the gay people love me. I look up, I'm like, hi.
Giant man.
I'll literally, like, other people are like not taking their laptops out. I look at the other people like, who doesn't know? You know, they really, yeah, I'm like, really, I'm killing it. You know, my shoes are off halfway down the line. Anyways, they're like, please, it doesn't matter. Okay. Our famous segment is,
Do you have any questions for us?
I mean, yeah, I feel like let me think. How long have each of you lived in Austin? And did you know each other before you got here?
No, we met in Austin, and I've been here it'll be 3 years at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I've been here for 7.
Okay, so 7. So you've kind of 3 years is within the scope of everything being popular, right?
Yeah.
7 years is outside. You're almost like an Austin gentrifier for comedy in the sense that
Oh,
like
yeah.
before it truly popped off. I mean, Austin has always been good in terms of comedy, but lately it's now like, it's up there
great.
with New York and LA. It's now
Yeah.
there's 3 hubs
Yeah, that's why I
Right.
moved there. I moved here because I was living in Portland, Oregon, and I like hated it there. And I was like, like Rogan's Club hadn't opened yet or anything like that. And I was like, I just feel like I want to get out of Portland. I want to get blasted by the sun. And I was like, and think something cool is going to be happening down in Austin. And by the time I moved here, people were like, everybody's moving to Austin.
Right.
But it really kind of was part of like maybe the second wave of people.
Yeah, I
getting
think
here.
you were here for the second wave because the creek was already open.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and was Portland like still shut down
Yeah,
too?
Portland was like China. You walked out of your house, you got shot in the head. I mean, like, by like a lesbian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Antifa and the what's the other one?
Yeah,
and the
Antifa-
Proud Boys would
yeah.
stop fighting to tell you to go back inside.
Yeah, they were like every single day. It was the Proud Boys against Antifa. It was like I
Jesus
can't
Christ.
I just don't want to fucking get to work at Massage Envy and live my life. Okay, I was like managing a Massage Envy. It was miserable. Yeah.
I stayed here because I liked the comedy in Austin, and then the surrounding areas were so homophobic that I was like, if I can do that,
Yeah.
then I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere in New York. Like, it just didn't feel true to me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like being good at comedy was like making people that inherently hate you laugh.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know why that was my goal, but that's what I did, and I've been here ever since.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, anyone who bitches about the change, they're wrong.
The change in
The change
terms
of like the change of the comedy from
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. Now there's more options. So if you don't like the one thing, it's not one thing. It's like 10 different things.
right.
Also,
Comedians in Austin bitch about that.
They're all dead now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's like an
They're
old
gone.
scene and a new scene.
Gotcha.
The old scene, they didn't really fight for their keep.
Right.
You know
Well,
what
and
I
it
mean?
also doesn't make sense where it's like there's more out there for everybody, and also I know a lot of young comics that live out there. It seems like the middle class is kind of wide open, where
Yeah.
there's a lot of young comics, and then there's a lot of really, really established, famous comedians, and it's like that's kind of a perfect slot for those dudes.
Yeah, and also it's nice because I feel like in New York and LA there's like weird stuff between the clubs. Where here, if you work at the clubs, you just work at all of them, and it's not weird between all of them.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Except, well, one of them, but no need to say their name. The one that will fucking ban you if you talk shit on them.
No
that one
kidding.
is. No, I'm just kidding. We all
Cap
know.
City.
They already don't fuck with me, so it's fine.
That was a joke. That was a
It is a joke. Can we cut that?
Yeah, make sure to cut that because I'm actually headlining October 30th in the main room.
Are you really?
Yeah, that's so funny. So please come out on October 30th. Oh God, that's funny.
Okay, so I guess our last segment, it's kind of what the whole show's built around,
Yes.
which is if you were a gay man,
Yeah.
would you rather have sex with me or Dylan?
Oh, that's interesting. Would I be a bottom or a top?
But you are gay,
Right.
and so you have to look inside yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1.5".
Okay, so
Okay, so you got
Yeah, I
options.
round up to 6'1" on my license, but I decided to be honest with you guys for no
Thank you.
reason.
Thank you.
I mean, just sheer. I couldn't possibly top you, dude. It would be like it really. I don't think the geometry would make sense.
I've actually never bottomed, so that's actually not the class you would be in.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
Oh, so it would just be
yeah,
me, just
yeah,
a
you're
little.
fucked, yeah.
And I don't know if I could get taken by that big of a man for my first time. It would be
you
a
actually
real.
do seem like maybe you would need more of a sensual, gentle loving between them from a man.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not gonna want me.
All right. Yeah, I'll just do both. Just do both and
No, we
figure it
actually
out.
don't
We
allow
actually
that
don't
answer.
allow
Oh,
that
damn it.
because
Yeah,
we.
this podcast is about bullying.
Okay. Well,
so-
actually, you know what? The easiest possible way, I would top you since you just lay there.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of an introductory course into sticking your thing in a new hole.
Absolutely.
That's a great answer.
That actually is a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is easier to get fucked and not like it than because you
Wait,
just.
what? Say that
Like,
more.
if you don't like the sex, it's easier to bottom than it is to top.
Really?
Yeah, because you could stick it in the hole whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you have to
I
be hard.
I have to be hard.
Right.
You know, though, sometimes I know I've had sex with guys where I'm having sex with them and they're soft and they can still come.
Well,
What?
I forget
Yeah.
what our
Is
Is that what they told you?
I've saw it. I see it. It's like you've ever seen cum come out of a soft penis.
No, I think that's the magic trick you show at the next show.
Wow! Oh my God, my brother
He was
has
like
a
50,
name for
so now
that.
I'm thinking about that. Maybe there's something else going on.
Okay, I there is a term for what you're saying, and it is true.
Soft
So,
ejaculate.
so I guess, yeah, that's good. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This
Yeah,
was great.
appreciate it.
Super
Do you have
fun.
anything you want to plug? Anything
Yeah,
you want to say?
I have a new special out called Traumatized Animal. It's on Chris DiStefano's YouTube. He produced it and put it up on his channel, which is great. And I'm very proud of it. And watch it, please.
Yeah.
Love it. Follow him on social media. Follow us at Dylan P. Carlino.
Colton Dowling.
And Jimmy Clifford.
Yeah, I don't know when this is coming out, but check out our website now for our tour dates that do exist, I'm sure.
Amazing. Bye.
I'm sure.
So, this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is
To drag out horse.
No.